Evening, you guys. I gotta remember to give this mic its space. Let's see. Sing with us if you know it.
Come together, heart and soul, as we love together. Young and old, we will sing together, together in one song. Come together, from different worlds we are drawn together. In our own way we can pray together, together we are strong. I see God in you.
I see God in you.
You see God in me.
You see God in me.
One path, one vision, one family. Come together, dreams and hands we will join together to build a place we can grow together. Together we are home. Together we are home. Together we are home.
Last time.
Together we are home.
Thank you, Jimmy and Julie. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Reverend Lea Alvarado. I'm the senior minister here. So glad that you have joined us, and those online, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are an inclusive community. We welcome all paths to God, all faith traditions, all lifestyles and beliefs. Wherever you are, you are welcome here. And we follow the teachings of Ernest Holmes. And Ernest Holmes studied the major religions, the truths of all the major religions, and he created what's called the science of mind. And in the science of mind, we believe that you can change, as you change your thinking, as you change your thoughts, as you change your beliefs, you change your life. And each week we offer practical spiritual tools to help you with the challenges and the things that we go through in life as human beings so that you can experience more joy and more freedom. So welcome. All right, so I'm going to pull up our vision. We're going to say this together. Join me. We are a powerful spiritual community, lovingly committed to a world of acceptance, compassion, peace, and joy. And our mission: to gather together, to express love, practice radical acceptance and inclusion, and to connect with one another and with Spirit. Do we have kids today? All right. Well, we're going to bring the kids up, and our youth and family director, Brooke, to sing a little song.
All right, y'all ready? God is everything there is, so I am part of God. I know there's lots of good for me and everybody else. I'm thankful and grateful for everything we have, so I let go of this prayer and so it is.
All right, see y'all later.
Thank you, kiddos. Nice. Thank you, thank you. All right, some announcements. Marie.
Some announcements. Some announcements with Marie. Here it, oh, my. I've got them all warmed up for you.
Yeah,
Now,
you do.
here we
Thank
go.
you. Yeah.
So, CSL NOCO 101, we have a new membership class because if you aren't already a member, we're providing the opportunity for people to find out what it's all about, what our philosophy is about, who we are, what membership offers and all that good stuff. It will be, Reverend Lea will be facilitating that on March the 12th from 2 to 4 p.m., which is the 2 hours before the hour before the service. Got that? Okay. I see heads going, no, I don't got it. So from 2 to 4, service starts at 5, Sunday, March 2nd. March Outreach. Dance Express is our March Outreach. Lonnie's our dancer. This month, the percentage of our tithes will go to support Dance Express, an inclusive dance community in Fort Collins, Colorado, that celebrates diverse dance experiences by and for persons with disabilities. Visioning a Way of Life, facilitated by our practitioner, Amber Davidson. Tuesday, March 21st through April 5th, held here at the church. The cost is $75. Learn about what visioning is and how to apply it to your life to create a life you love. The deadline to register is March 17th. Let me just say, it doesn't say this on my script, but I vision, I'm the visioning facilitator for the board. And I have visioned throughout my life in Science of Mind, and visioning is one of the most powerful practices there is. It is a beautiful way to create wonderful results in your life by meditating into some questions and allowing Spirit to create for you. So this is a marvelous chance to work with Amber on bringing this practice into your life. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And if you have any other questions about visioning, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. And of course,
Thank you.
Reverend Lea
Yes.
can answer any questions you have as well. And speaking of Reverend Lea, she will be facilitating the Way of Mastery book study. Wednesdays from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in person or on Zoom. Okay, hold on to your calendars. March 29th through November the 22nd. So it's a book study. It's not a class. There's no grade. It's a 3-part book series based on the teachings of Yeshua. Each chapter is a lesson. The lessons are pathways to forgiveness, self-love, and acceptance. So if you want more information about that, you can ask Reverend Lea, or it's going to be a super duper fun book study thing. I'm looking forward to it. And if you have more questions or you need more information, cslnoco.org. That's our website. Go there. You can learn anything that I mentioned here or stuff I didn't. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. All right, so let's just settle back and go within as we begin with an opening prayer, a meditation, and a song.
It's been so fun so far. Let's get quiet. Ooh, I have to move out of that. The light. Move into the light, Lonnie. Just move into the light. Okay, let's just take this time to come together in prayer. So if you'll join me in settling into your seat. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And take a slow and gentle breath. And breathing in again. We allow our attention to gently and peacefully go within to that place at the very center of our being, where we feel and know our oneness with the divine. And as we give our attention softly to our breath, breathing in, breathing out, we acknowledge that we are open and receptive to the living presence of Spirit. Know for yourself, I am open and receptive to the presence and the power of God within me. open and receptive to unconditional, all-embracing love. I am open and receptive to the wholeness of God that lives itself as me. I am open and receptive to healing right now, to harmony in all my life and affairs right now, to the peace and the assurance of spirit as I know with all my heart, my soul, my mind, and my strength exactly who I am. And in this consciousness of the divine, we recognize that we gather here tonight as one mind, one heart, one spirit, and one community. We give thanks that this Center for Spiritual Living in Northern Colorado is a loving, light-bringing, out-picturing of the love of Spirit. And with that knowingness, we simply give thanks for this gathering, for Reverend Lea, for our musicians, for those who are working in the kitchen for dinner, for those who are working with our young people, and for everyone whose hand has come to make this gathering a perfect and beautiful expression of life and love and peace. And so with one mind and one heart, we simply give thanks for this gathering in spirit and in love, in wholeness and in grace. And so it is. And now let us stay in this place of quiet and peace and connectedness with that inner divine source as we move into our time of meditation. Jimmy and Julie will lead us in a chant, and the words are on the screen. So please join in and sing along as we chant, I am that I am.
I am that
This is a Denise Rosier song.
Everything is sacred. Everything is filled with the divine. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everything is a wonder, unfolding right before our eyes. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everything is a blessing, bursting from the earth and sky. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everyone is sacred. Everyone is filled with the divine. Everyone is alive with spirit, with spirit. We are alive with spirit, with spirit. We are alive with spirit, with spirit. We are alive with spirit, with spirit.
That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, so here we are. This month, I decided to choose a topic a little bit risky, but I think it's an important one. And so all month we're talking about Yeshua, we're talking about Jesus. And the reason I decided to do that is because in our philosophy and the science of mind, what I have noticed on my path to ministry is that when the topic of Jesus comes up, even in our philosophy, there's some cringing going on with some folks. Nobody in this room, of course. I'm not pointing anybody out. But I've noticed it over the years. And so I thought, I've wanted to do this for a long time. So I am going to focus on him for 4 weeks. So there's an opportunity here. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I just think it's important for our own healing and our own growth, and because he has so much to teach us. Truly. Many of us have grown up in Christianity in some form or another, and I think the reason we have had issues with him is because we came to this philosophy to get away from the rigid doctrine, to push it away. But what we've also done in pushing away Christianity is we have pushed away Jesus. We've pushed away our relationship with this extraordinary teacher called Yeshua. And so what I'm hoping to do this month is to help us develop a new relationship with this divine being. And you know, his teachings align with Science of Mind. His teachings align beautifully, actually, with ours. And I'm going to talk about that. And so if you're sitting here in this room tonight, or if someone is online now or some point in the future, and when you hear the word Jesus and you feel some discomfort in your being, in your body, then it means you're in the right place. And what that means is that there's an opportunity for healing. There's an opportunity for healing for you. Because you know, that's what the spiritual path is all about. That when we experience some discomfort, no matter where it is in our life, life is saying, pay attention here. There's something for you. There's some healing that needs to be done. So it's okay if you're uncomfortable. Really, it's okay. I get it. I understand that. And there's a reason you're here. And there's an opportunity to heal. There's an opportunity to shift that. So let's all just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. And let's release any previous messages, any previous perspectives that perhaps aren't serving us in this moment. Just for the next hour, we'll let all that go. And be open. Open your heart and open your mind to receive what this teacher has to give us. And to open to seeing him in a new way and to develop a new relationship with this man. So the first thing I want to say, and I've said it already, but I'm going to say it again, his real name. His real name was Yeshua. That was his real name. Now you're going to hear me say Jesus, you're going to hear me say both, but his real name was Yeshua. And this was a man he was a profound healer. He was a great master. The master teacher is how Ernest Holmes, our founder, referred to him. He was a mystic, and he was a revolutionary. We're going to talk about that tonight. So I'm going to get a little cosmic right now. Everybody cool with that? Okay. Just had to warn y'all. So Yeshua was sent here as a messenger. He came here from another dimension. So that's pretty cosmic, yeah? He was a ninth dimensional being, which means that he was an advanced soul. And that's pretty obvious. This man was an advanced soul. But he came here from another dimension. And he came here as a messenger. He was sent as a messenger to humanity because things were a little chaotic. Not that they've changed a whole lot. You know, they haven't really changed a whole lot in 2,000 years. That's really unfortunate. I was realizing that as I was writing this. I thought, oh man, we really haven't changed a whole lot. But so, he wasn't the only one who was sent as a messenger. Buddha was sent, Krishna was sent, other masters and other teachers were sent to bring a whole other level of consciousness to the planet. A whole other level of consciousness. And so one of the things that he was brought here to do was to create a doorway, to create an opening for humanity, to create an up-leveling of consciousness, and to plant a seed, a Christ seed, within each of us. Now, it's not that it wasn't already there. It was already there. But his role was to help us to recognize that that seed was there. And so he wanted to show us that we could be a living Christ. Christ was not his last name. You've probably heard me say that before. If you were here for the holidays, you heard me say that. Christ was not his last name. Christ was, yeah, that's kind of funny, right? Christ was the consciousness that he embodied. And so he came here to help us to know that we too are Christ, that we too can embody that consciousness. Theologian and Episcopal priest Cynthia Bourgeault said this about Jesus. He represents the next level of human consciousness emerging into manifestation. So he represented that next level. And, he said, what I did, you can do and more. So it's not as though he was some savior, that he was so elevated that unreachable for us. No, he said, you can do what I can do. Adyashanti, I'm not a biblical scholar, but I did do some research in preparation for my talk, and I read a couple of wonderful books. And there's a book written by Adyashanti called Resurrecting Jesus. And he said that the Jesus story is a metaphor for spiritual awakening. And it makes sense, doesn't it? So the Christ was born. That means Christ consciousness was born. When he came onto the planet, a whole other consciousness was available for humanity. And, he lived only until he was in his early 30s. And then he died, he was crucified, and then resurrected. And then all that happened in between the time he was born and the time he died, there was an awakening that was possible for humanity. And that's really what his intention was, to wake us up. He was born a Jew. His parents were Jewish. He read the Torah. That's what he grew up reading. That was a big part of the culture. But he was also influenced by the Essenes. Now, the Essenes were a mystical tradition. And so he had teachers that were teaching him. Now, he was advanced. Yes, he had knowledge and wisdom that many didn't already have. But he worked with the Essenes and learned from them. And then as he got older, he traveled to learn from other teachers as well. He traveled to India and learned from the teachers there. He traveled to Tibet. He traveled to Glastonbury, where he worked with the Druids. So he continued to gather information and knowledge so that he could be an even greater teacher. And what he wanted to teach, what he called, was the way. He wanted to teach the way. And the way was really about helping people understand that the light of God is within us, that essence, that spirit of God is within us. And he also wanted to teach compassion and to teach love. And so he called it the way. He didn't want it to be a religion. He didn't want it to be a church. He just wanted to gather small groups of people together and teach the way. That's what he wanted to do. Now, here's the thing about him, is that he pushed boundaries. This is the revolutionary part of him. And he spoke about things that people didn't want to see and they didn't want to hear. Now, he used parables. We know this. He used parables as a way of teaching. And he did that because people at that time, a lot of people couldn't read and write. And as he traveled around and as he listened to different teachers, many of them were sharing things that people didn't really understand, using words and things that were hard for people to understand. So he decided to use parables as a way to help people understand what he was saying in a simpler way. So that's why he taught that way, to keep them a little more simple. Marcus Borg said in his book, Meeting Jesus Again for the First Time, Jesus was not a teacher of information, what to believe, or morals, how to behave, but a teacher of a way or path of transformation. That was his goal, was to transform individuals in terms of the consciousness that was there. So he pushed against the conventional wisdom. He pushed against that. He wanted to teach people an alternative way of seeing their life and of living their life. And because at that time, people still saw God as a condemning God. We haven't changed a whole lot since then in that regard as well, yeah? They saw God as God was out here, and it was a condemning God. And so he challenged that because he believed that God was within, not out here somewhere, and certainly was not a condemning God. And he wanted people to understand the mystery of God that was within us. And so he saw religion as a barrier. A religion was a barrier to our own divinity. And that's how he saw it. And so that's why he developed his own path, because he knew that the way was a way of helping people to connect with the divinity that existed within them. He had this radical and political edge to him. And so he challenged the social order of his day. He challenged it and he pushed against it, and boy, did that piss a lot of people off. He was a cool dude. Man, would it be amazing to meet him. So he shined a light on the social structures of that time. He would shine a light and say, look here, this is not okay. Look over here, this needs to be changed. Look over here, your perspective needs to change here. And so he, this is funny. I wrote this, I thought this was pretty funny. He was the first person to focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. He was like our first DEI guy, our first DEI consultant, yeah? Truly. Because there was this purity system that was happening during the time of Jesus. And the purity system, basically the Pharisees said, if you are poor, if you are a woman, if you have been maimed in any way, if you are an outcast, you are not welcome to sit with us at the table for dinner. You are not welcome in our society. So they shunned those individuals. The Pharisees said, get out. We don't want anything to do with you. And Yeshua said, oh, no. I am going to sit and enjoy a meal with the women and the outcasts and the marginalized and those who are considered impure. I am going to sit with them, because he was all about connection and love and acceptance and compassion. And of course, that pissed off the Pharisees. The Pharisees had a lot of rules about what was right and what was wrong. And he said, no, that's not how it's going to be. So, this isn't talked about a lot, but Yeshua was beaten. He was beaten and he was tortured during those times of his life because he pushed so strongly against the society and the structures that was going on at that time. But he kept going. He kept going because he knew there was a reason that he was there. He didn't allow them to take him down. He kept moving forward because he knew he had a teaching that could make a difference. Adyashanti said that Jesus said something likely, he's assuming that he said something like this, and I'm sure he did. What kind of world is it in which a Pharisee, typically viewed as righteous and pure, can be pronounced unrighteous and an outcast be accepted? So he's saying, what if we lived in a world where the outcasts were the ones who were accepted, where the outcasts were the ones who were lifted up and acknowledged, and the Pharisees were the ones who were pronounced unrighteous? What if that world existed? So he pushed the boundaries and he made people think differently. There was a lot of separation at that time, separation between heaven and hell, separation between the divine and the human, separation between God and human. God was out here, and people loved certain people, but not all people. So all of this separation was something that he was aware of and noticed. Adyashanti said that Jesus wanted to break down those lines of separation, that was important to him. And he said this: the whole Jesus story ultimately is the map of a journey that happens within us. It's an invitation to live out the radiance that's revealed when we have the courage to step beyond anything and everything that separates us. So if you think about your own life in terms of separation, we often walk through the world feeling separate, don't we? We have to remind ourselves that we are not separate. We are not separate from God. We are not separate from the divine. We are not separate at all. But unless we are bringing that into our meditation and bringing that into our prayer time every day, we forget. We forget. And so Yeshua taught us that there is a light, that Christ's seed has been planted within us. That light is always there. And so he taught us that it's not just to know that it's there, but to actually feel it and to embody it. There's a difference. We can know it intellectually, and those moments when we feel separate, we can then close our eyes and we can tune in, we can feel that light, and then 2 seconds later we're separate again. And then we come back, and then, okay, let me tune in again. Okay, now I'm separate. This is how the human walk goes, yeah? So we need a little practice at this. We need some practice. Marcus Borg said, that change from having heard about God with the hearing of the ear to beholding God, from the secondhand belief to firsthand relationship, is what the alternative wisdom of Jesus is most centrally about. So it's about developing a relationship with the divine. That was one of his core teachings, was to not just understand what God is, but to develop a relationship with God. A relationship with God. Because he knew that everything stemmed from that. Why was he able to heal people? Why was he able to manifest things just like that? It was because of his relationship with the divine. Because he knew that that power was a part of who he was. He never questioned that. It wasn't him doing the healing. It was God moving through him doing the healing. And he knew this. What I have done, you will do and more, he said. I love that. Jesus said in the Gospel of Thomas, there is a light within a man of light, and he lights up the whole world. If he does not shine, he is in darkness. So what he's saying there is that there is this light that is within us, but oftentimes we are unaware of it. We don't know that that light is there. But if we tune in and we intentionally shine it, now we're in touch with it. If we're not connecting with that light, then we are asleep. We are in the dark. We are in the darkness. Adyashanti talks about this challenge that Yeshua had for us, this particular passage. And he says that, boy, he gives it to us straight. He's trying to wake us out of our slumber, saying we're either in the dark or we're in the light. What are we going to choose? Are we going to choose the light or are we going to choose the dark? And in any moment we can choose that. In any moment. No matter what we are experiencing, no matter what challenge or difficulty that we are going through, in any moment we can choose to connect with the divine within and the light within us. And then there's a shift. There's a shift in our consciousness as soon as we do that. I love what Adyashanti says about the light, and I think this is something that we can apply, all of us, to our life. If you put your attention on it, if you meditate upon it in stillness, it can open up and reveal that indeed it is the divine light, that which lights up the whole world. The more awakened we become to our own divinity, the more we feel revitalized by a living presence, by that which reveals that life is sacred. Human life is sacred. All of life is sacred. So what Yeshua is trying to show us is that, and teach us, that as we open ourselves to connect to that divine light, as we feel that, as we spend time connecting to it, we then see life differently. We then begin to see life as sacred. We begin to see ourselves as sacred. We begin to interact with people in a new way, in a different way. Marcus Borg said, Jesus did not speak of himself as the Son of God, whose historical intention or purpose was to die for the sins of the world. And his message was not about believing in him. Rather, he was a spirit person, subversive sage, social prophet, and movement founder who invited his followers and hearers into a transforming relationship with the same spirit he himself knew. That was what he was trying to show us. He knew what it was like to have a personal relationship with God, and we can have that too if we choose. You know, Ernest Holmes talks about the secret power that Jesus had. And he said that secret power was the fact that Jesus knew that divine presence was always there and accessible. And Ernest, I think that's why he said, there is a power greater than you are and you can use it. That's a famous saying of Ernest Holmes. And it's because Ernest Holmes studied the teachings of Jesus. It was part of what created the science of mind. Adyashanti said this about Yeshua, that he is a living presence of divine being. He is a human being too, but he's here to convey divine being. Divine being. And Ernest Holmes agreed. And Ernest Holmes said, the great mystics like Jesus have taught that as we enter into the one enters into us and becomes us and is us. So our role as we move into this week ahead of us, if you so choose, is to reflect on what's Yeshua's message for us. How can I bring that Christ light more into my life? How can I tap into the essence of God within me and actually live it, know it, feel it? That's part of the spiritual journey, isn't it? We can know it intellectually, but to feel it, you know, Yeshua came in knowing it. He knew it, he felt it, he didn't have to practice that. But some of us have a little more work to do. And that's okay, it's part of the journey. It's part of it. So what would it look like in your life if you were to live as Christ lived? How would that change how you interact with people? How would it change how you interact with yourself, how you see yourself, how you live your life? How would it change? The whole spiritual journey is about recognizing how separated we are. That's part of the spiritual journey, is to recognize, gosh, there I am, I'm separate again. Let me remind myself that I'm connected, always connected. So I invite you this week to practice that, journal it. If you have that discomfort, if you have any discomfort related to Yeshua, related to Jesus, I invite you to do some work around that, to look at what aspect within you is keeping you resisting that, resisting a relationship with this extraordinary master teacher called Yeshua. And feel his presence and actually take him into your meditation. Call him in. Do you know, he's been gone a long time, but his powerful energy and consciousness is still with us. He is a master teacher still. And available to us as we call him in, we can feel his energy. So I invite you to do that. I invite you to practice that this week as you go out into your life. So I want to end with a prayer, and I invite you to close your eyes. We're going to call in this presence of Yeshua. And so, taking a deep breath, and so we call in the energy of Yeshua. We call him in. We open our hearts to receive this divine energy. We connect and we allow the light that is within us to radiate through our entire being. Knowing that we can do what Yeshua did and more, we allow his knowledge and wisdom to pour through us, supporting us in our life and on our spiritual journey. And as we connect to this power within, we receive the perfect guidance to know what direction to take in our life. We know how best to heal our bodies, to heal our relationships in every area of our life. We continue to open ourselves and receive what Yeshua came here to teach. The seed of Christ consciousness has been planted within each of us, and as such, in any moment we can choose to connect with that consciousness and expand it by radiating love. So that as we walk through the world, we heal others simply by our presence. And so say silently to yourself, I unite with the light of God. I unite with the consciousness of Christ. And feel that light in the center of your being radiating. Feel it. Sending those rays of light out, touching everyone in this community, this spiritual family. And so we give thanks for this. We give thanks for knowing this. We give thanks for this truth. We give thanks for this moment of consciously sharing the Christ light that is within us. And so it is.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
So I ask our ushers to come forward for our offering. And if there was something that touched you this evening, something that touched your heart, it opened your heart, I just invite you to share your tithes and gifts. And so we place our tithe, our gift, over our heart. And let's say our offering affirmation together. This gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyfully I receive. And so it is.
There we go. This is a song y'all know well. I would love it if you sing it with us.
With these eyes I will see, with this heart I will be opening wide, turning inside. I am listening. With this love I will lead. With this grace I will breathe. Deepening peace, fear I release. I am ready to receive. Spirit, know my name. Call me home and light these darkened days. Oh, Spirit, show your truth in all we do. Let love be our legacy. With these eyes I will see. With this heart I will be. Opening wide, turning inside. I am listening. With this love I will lead. With this grace I will breathe. Deepening peace, fear I release. I am ready to receive. Spirit, know my name. Call me home and light these darkened days. Oh, Spirit, show your truth in all we do. Let love be our legacy. Let's do that chorus one more time. Spirit, know my name. Call me home and light these darkened days. Oh, Spirit, show your truth in all we do. Let love be our legacy. Let's let love be our legacy. Let's let love be our legacy.
I'll speak in here. So after service, our practitioners are going to be up here on the stage. If you need prayer, if there's something that is heavy on your heart, something you'd like prayer for, come join Lonnie up here. I think Lonnie is our only practitioner here with us today. Yes, okay. She'll be up here on the stage, and she will do a 2-minute miracle with you. So there's also a prayer box on the back table. If you'd rather write your prayer and put it in there, all of us will be praying on that, meaning myself and the practitioners will be praying on that for the whole week. So if you choose that option, just know that that's available as well. All right, let's stand for our benediction and closing song. Okay. It's a little hard to see, so can you read that? Okay. So let's say this together. May we be at peace. May our heart remain open. May we awaken to the light of our own true nature. May we be healed, and may we be a source of healing for all beings. Love is who I am. Love is who we are. Love is all there is.
1, 2, 2.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only